Oh man, Club Shay Shay's a mess. So now the newest beef is between Godfrey and Kountry Wayne. Um, so Kountry Wayne, so Fazion Love, the professional hater, um, got into it with Kountry Wayne, and Kountry Wayne was on Club Shay Shay, and he was basically saying he was referring to Fazion Love, and he's saying how because Fazion's been around for a long time, the fact that Fazion's still doing clubs and not doing anything else means that Fazion Love's career wasn't that great. That he screwed up his career. I'm paraphrasing. So Godfrey heard those comments, and he was on Club Shay Shay. And he told Shannon, it's like, maybe I got this wrong. So let me know if I misinterpreted it. Because Godfrey is a comedian's comedian. Godfrey still does a lot of stand-up. He has his podcast in Godfrey We Trust on the Gas Digital Network. But he's a comedian's comedian. Like, he loves stand-up. He's a student of stand-up. If you watch the Club Shay Shay interview, you could tell the man loves the history of stand-up. And he was basically saying that, no, if you're still doing comedy clubs, doesn't mean that you're not successful, at all. Like, the comedy, he said they're still building comedy clubs all the time. Like, there's nothing wrong with comedy clubs. And again, he also said, like, he respected Kountry Wayne's hustle. He said the man makes $20 million a year off Facebook. He said, he gave a lot of praise to Kountry Wayne. It's just in this circumstance, he kind of disagreed with him on that. And then Kountry Wayne made a video, and he was telling Godfrey to get his name out of his mouth, and Godfrey's hair was lame. Like, he said his haircut was off and he was lame. It's like, that's like, to be honest, whenever someone criticizes your opinions, that's like some Real Housewives stuff. That's like some Basketball Wives stuff. That's like, dudes aren't supposed to do that type of thing. Because Godfrey said nothing about Kountry Wayne's appearance. He just was talking about the comedy. And you see that a lot today. When someone doesn't like any type of criticism, they attack your looks. And it's like, women do that. Dudes don't do that. So he was, and then he said, well, these dudes that couldn't get the girl in high school. It's like, oh my God. But the one thing Wayne did not say, Godfrey, I challenge you for us to go to a comedy, go on stage toe to toe, and we can see who's the funniest comedian. He didn't say that because he knows that Godfrey would just blow him off the stage each and every time. Listen, Kountry Wayne is a genius when it comes to figuring out the Facebook algorithm. When he started doing his skits, he was doing his skits for a while, and then he figured out what worked. And he took that, and he's making a lot of money off Facebook. A lot of money. And I'm not taking anything away from it. Like, his skits are actually pretty funny. Like, there's other guys that I think who do similar things skit-wise that I think are actually better. There's a guy named Kerry. I think it's Kerry Legacy on YouTube. And there's another guy I liked a lot. I used to get his videos all the time on the algorithm, but I forgot his name. I was trying to search for the video before this one. I couldn't find his videos. But yeah, so Kountry Wayne's a genius that way. But the problem with a lot of these folks who make the success on social media is that the comedy clubs say, hey, we see you got a big following. You are a stand-up. We want you to be a headliner. And the problem is a lot of these people, I'm not saying him, but a lot of these people go from social media when they're making 2 to 3 minute skits, and now they're going to have to do a 60-minute set, and they're not good at it. They're good for maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but they're not headliners. Like, Godfrey is a headliner. Godfrey's been doing this for almost like 30 years or 25 years or something like that. Godfrey's been around forever. And Godfrey learned from Godfrey learned from Bernie Mac. Like, he learned from some of these older comedians. Like, he reveres older comedians. And some of these guys today, like Wayne and some of these other dudes, some of them, not all of them, they don't really revere the past that way. They think they're the funniest guys on the face of the earth. And to be honest, if you look at guys like most of these comedians today, it's not just Kountry Wayne, no matter what race, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what gender, most of these people that they're touted as the funniest comedians today would not be liners 20 years ago. If you take the kings of comedy, right, you can't say Kountry Wayne is funnier than any of those 4 guys. And most likely, Kountry Wayne probably would have been the opener for those guys. DC Young Fly is fine. He's funny in parts, But I don't know if but he's a headliner today, but I don't know if he would have been a headliner 20 years ago. I love Carlos Bean and Carlos Miller. Like, they're great. Now, they're borderline headliners. I can see that because I think they've been around for a long time and I think they understand it. So Carlos and Chico are okay. But if we go back like 20 years ago, like Bernie and Cedric and like DL at his peak and even Steve Harvey, like those guys put that work in. Chris Tucker, when he was on top, like those guys, Eddie Griffin, like those are comedians. Like I'm not even gonna put Eddie Murphy in that category because Eddie's Eddie. But these guys today are funny, they're humorous, but none of them are great. Okay, I'll switch it up. You take someone like Jerrod Carmichael. I really like when Jerrod Carmichael had his show on NBC. I liked that show a lot. It was him and Daylan Greer and Lil Rel and Tiffany Haddish. Them separately are not great stand-up comedians. But as a collective on that show, they were fantastic. And I hate the fact that NBC got rid of that show. It was a really good, solid comedic show and they got rid of it. Lil Rel, funny, but he's not hilarious. Tiffany Haddish, funny, but again, like, she's not a full-on headliner. And even with Jerrod Carmichael, like, when Jerrod Carmichael had his special out on HBO like a couple of years ago, they were telling Jerrod, he's the future of comedy. And I was like, Because the biggest thing about that special was that he was talking about how he came out to his family and things like that. Okay, that's great. But no one told me what the funniest parts of his special was. I think Jerrod's okay, but he's not a headliner. And now on HBO, he has a reality show coming up, and that kind of fits him. Jerrod Carmichael is a host. He is a reality show type person. I don't think he's a headlining comedian type. As much as I say, like, I'm not the biggest Kevin Hart fan when it comes to stand-up, Kevin Hart is like Richard Pryor in this generation, because at least I know Kevin can give me 60 minutes. I know Cat Williams can give me 60 minutes. Cat can probably give you 2 hours. Most of these people today just can't give you that. So we're going back to Kountry Wayne. So Kountry Wayne, it's fantastic that he's successful, but the thing that he has to watch out for is the pivot. Sooner or later, as he figured out that algorithm during the pandemic, that pandemic is going to change. I made a video about Mr. Beast recently, and I was saying, like, when Mr. Beast first started out, most of the people who were the top YouTubers at that point are no longer around. Tastes change, people change, algorithms change. And one of these days, it's going to change on Kountry Wayne. I just saw Kevin James, the King of Queens. He was on CBS Sunday Morning, and he's doing stand-up in theaters, which is great. But if you ask Kevin James 15 years ago, did he think that his main money would be coming from doing stand-up in theaters? He probably would tell you no. He probably think, well, I had the King of Queens. Adam Sandler's producing my movies like Paul Blart. I got another TV show after that. He probably really thought his future would be in TV and film and maybe do stand-up once in a while like Seinfeld. But things change. But because Kevin James is such a strong enough comedian, he could do 60 minutes. So Kountry Wayne, if I had any advice, not about money, talk to Godfrey. Godfrey's been in this game for a long time. Hash it out. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree. I don't know. But hash it out with the brother. He's a good dude. But also, pay attention to the pivot, because that algorithm is going to change. And are you going to become a dramatic actor, a comedic actor, a host? Like Kevin Hart's figured that out. Like Kevin Hart figured out, like Kevin was doing really well. He was doing movies and he's doing stand-up. And I think now he's doing like, he got the Ice Tub show on YouTube. He got his interview show on Peacock. Kevin understood that you need to pivot sooner or later, because after a while, people's tastes change. So Kountry Wayne got the people of the streets today. But he better watch out for the next Kountry Wayne tomorrow.